Winery Francone. Family Francone makes wine since 5 generations. But the winery where we are today was built in 1964 by the grandfather of Fabrizio, Giovanni. Since this year, 1964, the family started to develop itself faster, and we arrived today that we have more than 16 different kinds of wine. All the wine are really close to the family tradition, but also to the region tradition where we are. We are in Neive, in the heart of Barbaresco wine region, really close to us. If you are interested in, I tell you something about our region. We are here in Neive, in the wine region called Barbaresco, really close to Alba. Around Alba, there are 3 really important wine regions: Barolo, Roero, and Barbaresco, where we are. Barolo, famous in all the world for the king of the red wine, Barolo wine. That means that only the grapes of Nebbiolo grapes variety that come from Barolo wine region could be used to make Barolo wine. In Barolo wine region there are only 11 little villages, and only the grapes that grow here could be used to make this wine. Also, as in Barbaresco wine region, we have Nebbiolo grapes variety. But with the same grapes variety, we make 2 other different kinds of wines, Nebbiolo and Barbaresco. So to resume, we have only 1 grapes variety, Nebbiolo, 2 wine regions, Barbaresco and Barolo, and 3 wines, Nebbiolo wine, Barbaresco wine, made with the grapes that grow in Barbaresco wine region, Barolo wine with the grapes that come from Barolo wine region.
The difference why one cannot be named Barolo and the other one, apart the location, what is the reason why it's so important to have it in Barolo, the Nebbiolo grapes?
One of the first features that come from this the same grapes variety but come from 2 different wine regions. One of the first difference come from the height of the hills. In Barbaresco wine region, here our hills are more or less 200-300 on the sea level, meters on the sea level. Barolo reach also 500-550 meters on the sea level. For that reason, the gap between the temperature in the day and the night is bigger in Barolo wine region, and the grapes develop more thickness in the skin. In the skin of the grapes, there is also the tannins. This is one of the first difference between these 2 big wines, royal wines. Barolo have a full tannins. Barbaresco have a more smooth and elegant tannins. This is one of the first region. Have I answered to your question?
Yes.
Well. At least Roero. Usually Piedmont is not really famous for white wine because they remain really easy to drink, easy to prepare, and not with a really long life. But Roero gives us a wonderful Roero Arnese. Arnese is a really typical cepage, grapes variety of South Piedmont. You can find out or Roero Arnese that remain really fruity, or Langarnese that remain really fresh and mineral. At least this area is really important for the hazelnuts. Santo Stefano, Cortemiglia, to go to Liguria. Hazelnuts that come from Piedmont is really famous, really wonderful and smooth and palate. Is not used to make Nutella because the quantity is not good for an industrial request, but are really wonderful.
But is Pietro Ferrero from this area?
I'm sorry?
The Pietro Ferrero is from this area, the founder of Nutella? Or,
yes, Nutella is here in Alba.
In Alba.
The main industry is in Alba. Today they have a lot of industry around the world, but the home is here in Alba.
Okay.
Yeah. Some days you could also smell here in Neive the perfume of chocolate. So this is the lung of our winery, where the full body red wine age and reach the full equilibrium and body that you will meet in the glass. When I say full body red wine, I mean Barbera d'Alba Superiore, made with Barbera grapes, and the 3 wines that come from Nebbiolo grapes, Nebbiolo, Barbaresco and Barolo. Here you can find out only French oak, toasted inside and outside. We use French oak because it's a oak that helps in the best way the wine to develop itself. Another good variety of oak is the Slavonia oak. Slavonia is a region in Eastern Europe. We don't like American oak because it gives too much vanilla aroma to the wine. This aroma overpasses the natural aroma of the wine and we don't like it. As you can see, we have different sizes. This small is called barrique and is of 225 liters. A little bit bigger are called tonneaux in French, cask in English, and are of 500 or 700 liters. The biggest are called botti in Italian, barrels in English. Those are of 1,200 liters. But upstairs we have the biggest of 3,000, 5,000 liters.
No.
You see, this is finta.
Yeah.
Why different sizes? Because every kind of grapes need a different intensity of help from the wood. Barbera need a real intensity of help, so age in the small barrique for 14 months. Why age in the small? Because in the small barrique there is a little quantity of wine close to a big part of wood, so the exchange of oxygen and the exchange of features is really hard. Then in the bigger barrels where there is more wine close to a less quantity of wood. So change this intensity of help that come from the oxygen and come from the oak. As I told you, Barbera age for more or less 14 months in the small barrique, Nebbiolo age for 1 year and a half in the big barrels, Barbaresco and Barolo age for more or less 30 months in the big barrels with a little time of last affinement in the small barrique in order to reach the really best balance as possible. After that time the wine is ready, but not to be drink, only to be bottled. Now we bottle the wine, but the wine have to relax a little bit itself because during the bottle job it was stressed. So we stir the wine, we have 2 sleep rooms for the wines, where the wine sleep in order to find out his equilibrium in his new home, because it was in an open area like the wood, now is in a fast closed area like the bottles. So if you are interested in, we could look the bottle that sleep. This is where we store the wines before to label it, the bottles before to label it. As in the barrels, every wine needs different time to sleep. For example, Barbera needs 6 months, Nebbiolo 8 months, Barbaresco and Barolo over 1 year, also 50 months. After this period, the wine is finally ready to be drank. This is the Lange Nebbiolo that if you are interested in, we could taste in the wine tasting room. And this is the caveau of the family. Here we store every year some bottle of the big wines in order to give the possibility to the wine lovers to find out an old wines, an old bottle, but is also a family
collection.
Thank you. The oldest bottle is of 1958.
Okay.